And we are back with yet another great debate. Start bench trade. I'm Stephen Villani here with Basement Sports Talk with my good friend Sean McGee. And today we're doing some more NBA basketball debates. And we're going to talk between some shooting guards, Devin Booker, Donovan Mitchell, and Victor Oladipo. So I know when we were talking about this list, we had a little bit of what's the word I'm looking for? I guess a discrepancy.
A disagreement?
A disagreement, discrepancy, whatever you want to call it. My personal start out of this list is Donovan Mitchell. And I know some people could say Devin Booker. He's more of a pure scorer than Donovan Mitchell.
Some people can say Victor Oladipo.
Some people could say Victor Oladipo. He's got the experience. And he's more well-rounded than the other two, I would say. But I feel like
Donovan Mitchell. Go into him.
Yeah. Donovan Mitchell has been an absolute beast since coming in to the NBA. And I think it's been evident. He's put on some great performances in the playoffs. He's been very clutch. And yeah, I know you did the stats research for this, so list me off some Donovan Mitchell stats. Why don't you?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So obviously Donovan Mitchell entered the league 2017. He really came out in full force since being drafted. No one thought he was going to be that good out of Louisville, right away at least.
Right.
I think he was a 13th overall pick in the draft, so barely hitting the lottery. But his career points per game is 22.7, shooting 44% from the field and 35.5% from three. So really good numbers in his 3-year career already. Just this season alone, he was up to 24.2 points a game, shooting 45.3% and 36.4% from three, with 4.4 rebounds and 4.2 assists. So he's definitely, since his 2017 season, becoming more and more well-rounded NBA-type everyday player. And I think he's only going to get better. He's 23 years old. Yep, he's 23 years old. So still a huge amount of room to grow.
Right.
And he's really taken that Utah Jazz organization to, playoff appearances. Of course,
I got
Joe
the
Ingles.
video right here for you if you want me to play while you're talking.
Play it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm not as high on Donovan. Well, not as high, but I don't have him on my list as high as Steven.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get to that. But obviously he's a great player in the league. He's going to take the Jazz to great places, and I think they'll get to a Western Conference Finals later in his career. They got Joe Ingles there, Rudy Gobert. It's a great.
Joe Ingles might not be there by the time they're in the Western Conference Finals, though.
I love Joe Ingles. I think
as
that
much
man.
as I love Joe Ingles, I don't know how much more he's got left in the tank.
He should play until he's like 45. Joe Ingles.
That would be awesome.
But yeah,
him and Bogey.
I like Donovan Mitchell a lot. I just think the other two guys kind of outweigh him a little bit. But I mean, we can look at these stats right here, this highlight here real quick. I mean, this is in the playoffs as well. I'm pretty sure OKC beats them here, right?
I believe so. I believe this was the year that the Jazz defeated them.
But yeah, for a 23-year-old kid, I mean, the offense runs through him, and I think that shows a lot of trust in him already by the coaching staff at such a young age.
I think he also has something that Devin Booker and Victor Oladipo they don't have as skilled of an arsenal as he does, but his ability to get to the rim and dunk the ball.
I mean, that's true.
That it's bad for either of them, but I think Donovan Mitchell definitely has a better skill set in that department than
he's hard to guard. I mean, and same thing with the other list we made. If you guys watched it, the great debates of Klay Thompson, Jimmy Butler, and Paul George. I mean, these three guys, I mean, he has Mitchell at his top of his list, and I have him on the trade spot. Sneak peek for you guys. But
it's a little bit of a spoiler there.
Yeah, it is. But the thing is, these guys are so interchangeable. I mean, look at the acrobats by Donovan Mitchell. I mean, that's insane in itself. And he's such a tireless worker as well, besides just putting the ball in the basket.
Bang.
Exactly. Bang.
Hitting the three-point right there. He's got a good arsenal of moves that he could use to get open. And I think that's going to – and he's still got a lot of room to grow. He still has yet to hit his prime, and he's done some really really great things in the league so far.
I mean, he's really hard to guard off the bounce too. Really, really hard. And you put a pick and roll situation with Rudy Gobert. He usually 9 times out of 10 he makes the right decision as well, and that's really crucial for a young player.
Right.
But for me, if I can go on to who I think is number one,
of course.
That's what's important in life is what I think.
You think?
It's what I think, of course. But my number one guy is, while we finish these highlights, my number one guy is Devin Booker. No shade on
I have no debate
Mitchell.
about that. I can see why you put him. He's a very talented player.
So before we even got on the call, Devin Booker's 23, the same age as Donovan Mitchell. And he's already has 5 years in experience in the league because he came in at 18. I mean, that's so crucial. He's averaging in this season alone, he's averaging playing 36 minutes a game, which is insane. He's 26.1 points a game, shooting 48.7% from the field, almost 50% shooting from the field at 23 years old. Really hard to guard, can go inside out. Gotta respect him, a couple steps outside the 3-point line, but at the same time can drive right past you.
I think out of the 3 players we're discussing today, I think Devin Booker definitely has the best 3-point shot.
Yeah.
Out of all of them.
Out of the 3 guys we're talking about, he's the best shooter, of course.
Yes.
Now getting to the basket, I might give it to Donovan Mitchell, like you said, or Oladipo. Oladipo's first step is insane, especially pre-injury. I know he was coming back this season from the injury, but his first step is insane. I would even say it's a little bit better than Mitchell's before the injury. But going back to Devin Booker, his career, he's playing 33.5 minutes a game, which is also a huge amount. 22.3 points per game, and shooting 44.7 from the field. Yeah, I mean and this year, I mean he not at the very start, but the past couple of years he's been a great playmaker too. He's averaging 6.6 assists this year as well as 4.2 rebounds. So he's learning how to do other things than just score. Which is obviously the next step for him and for the Suns to get to the playoffs. They haven't been in the playoffs in years. And I think he's definitely the key to get him there as long as they get him a few other pieces.
Right. That's all he needs. Like, that's the thing with Devin Booker. He's been like the guy there for 5 years now, and they have not really been able to surround him with the proper talent for them to go anywhere.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good take right there. I know it's in the open court, but you put him in any pick and roll situation.
He's definitely the best pure scorer out of these guys.
3. And that's why I think he's number one, in my opinion. He's only 23. So, I mean, his prime is going to be about 25, 26. And we're seeing, we saw like a 70-point game from him or something like that.
Right. And this is actually the highlight video of the 70-point game.
And look at me. I don't even know what's going on. But, yeah, I mean, it's insane. I mean, sometimes you guard him straight up.
Donovan was defense, I would say.
It's true. I definitely say Devin Booker isn't the best defender out of those 3. I would say probably Oladipo is, in my opinion. But just gifted scoring wise, I mean, just that right there, the little head fake he gets,
and he was even able to bounce it off the glass.
Yeah, I mean, he's just
bank right there.
Scoring wise, there's not much. I mean, look at him moving without the ball. I mean, that's awesome right there. You try to deny him one way, he figures out to score in another way. At 23 years old. At the same time. I mean, how do you guard that better right there in transition?
You really can, and that's why I put him as my bench. I didn't say I would trade Devin Booker, but it was close between who I would start and who I would bench between him and Donovan Mitchell, and it was close even with Victor Oladipo too. I put him obviously if I put Mitchell and Booker as my number 1 and 2, Victor Oladipo is going to be my 3.
Yeah, of course.
But
you see that last take? Oh, even that little push off. He pushes Marcus Smart, one of the best defenders in the league, pushes him under the screen, then comes back up for a 3. I mean, that's awesome.
I forget. Did the Suns end up winning this game?
I don't think they did. There's no way they do.
I don't think they did. Yeah.
Scored. Look how happy the Suns bench is, even though they're losing by 10. But I mean, that's
did you see Tyson Chandler? He's like, that's it.
70 points. Yeah. I mean, that's awesome.
Wow, and 7 rebounds and 6 assists too.
Yeah. So I think obviously he gets a little better surrounding cast. That will make him better as well. But for his age and his ability to score, that's why he's number one on my list.
Right. Now I think we should talk about probably the last person.
You think?
Yeah. I mean, we could not talk about him if you want. There's always that option.
Put those highlights up there because I think he's underappreciated because of his injury.
I agree with you. I do think that people forget about Victor Oladipo because of the injury.
Let me just run through a little of his career stats. 17.4 points a game, so almost 20 points per game.
And not to interrupt you, but I have a question about his stats.
Go ahead.
He was at one point the most improved, right? Or comeback player of the year. He won one of those awards, if I'm remembering correctly.
Most improved, not comeback, because this was his comeback.
I thought it was most improved.
Because this is his comeback season right here, and coronavirus halted it. He's played 13 games this season, and had played 36 games last season before the injury. And before that, he had 18.8 points per game, shooting 42.3%, as well as 5.6 rebounds and 5.2 assists. So, like you said, like almost, sort of like Devin Booker, his scoring's evolved, but so has his playmaking and his rebounding ability as well. So he's been doing other things, other parts of the game that are just as important.
Right, and look at that. Paul George-esque and one right there.
Just throw it up, give it a little kiss, fall in the basket.
Oh, look at his face. He's like, oh, yeah, I know that's going to look good on tape.
And that's one thing, too, about Victor Oladipo, is when he's healthy, he's one of the – sort of like we talked about Jimmy Butler. He's one of the most competitive guys you can play, too. Mm-hmm. He's taken that franchise to another level ever since going there. And I think that's why he's number 2 on my bench spot. Over Mitchell. Not that I don't think Mitchell is a good player, but I think when healthy, Victor Oladipo, he knows how to ball, man.
Yeah, he does. He really does.
And I think
going back to his days with the Magic.
And he's 28 years old, so he's a little older. Mm-hmm. So he's definitely got more experience of
and even then,
how to play in the NBA.
We're talking like 28 is old.
Yeah, I know. He's in the prime.
You and me are 7 years off of 28.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to think about that, but yeah, I mean, he's got a lot of experience, and I think he still can play till about 35, 38, somewhere in that range. Great guard. I mean, still athletic. We'll see what the injury does to him, but
hopefully he comes back stronger than ever.
In the 13 games back in the season before coronavirus halted it, he was averaging 13.8 points per game and shooting 39% from the field. Only 30% from the three-point line.
Ooh.
But
you see the pass from that angle?
I did.
That was very slick.
Hey, he's an impressive player, man. And that dunk right there. I mean, it just shows his athletic ability. I mean, before his injury, he's one of the hardest players to guard after the first step.
I also think he's one of the most underratedly clutch players in this league too.
Yeah,
I've seen him hit some clutch shots in a couple games before, like more often than some of the considered best players in the league.
Yeah, I mean, and the other thing too is he's fearless driving to the basket. Can his shooting improve a little bit? It probably could a little bit, but I mean, look at this: the crossover and just explode to the basket. Woo! That wraparound pass. I mean, that's hard to do in the NBA. And he does it so well. I mean, inside out crossover. That was a little inside out crossover. Oh, that was so fun to watch.
Ooh, look at that
behind the back pass. Just whoop. I really enjoyed his game, and I hope he gets healthy for July 31st when the NBA resumes in Orlando.
Fingers crossed.
And watch him too. So, I mean, that's so hard. He freezes you. And then he goes
you
right
see
by
how
him.
he made Laurie jump?
He put him to the whole right side. No, he's a good player. And I think he's still. I mean, it's 28, but I mean, I think coming back from the injury, he still has a lot to prove. And definitely wants to win. And definitely wants to win a championship. So. And that's why he's number 2 on my bench, because if he's coming off my bench, I'm really happy.
Right. No, yeah, of course.
And that leaves, obviously, I already spoiled it, but Mitchell is my trade. Not because I want to trade him, just because that's how it is, and that's how I think.
It just, at that point, it just is what it is. It's just when you're comparing players of this similar caliber, it's so hard to decide which guy to choose.
Oh, there was your clutch shot right there before.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
But
I've seen.
see when he gets going.
Whoa!
When he gets going, it's really hard to
Mario
stop
Zone, you didn't know
Oladipo.
what was what on that.
He could block LeBron, but he can't block Oladipo now. I mean, it's hard to catch him. I mean, and I think he averages around a steal a game as well. So I mean, he's an all-around good player, and I really hope he gets back to doing what he does, prior to his injury.
Right.
So
That's
I got
the
Booker,
list.
Oladipo, Mitchell.
I got Donovan as my start, Devin Booker as my bench, Oladipo as my trade.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't know.
Give us your guys' ideas of what you think. If you think we're wrong, if you think I'm wrong and Sean's right,
You're wrong. And I'm right.
Give him more confidence because that's exactly what he needs right now.
I'm just saying. I mean, my list seems way more right than your list, but I'm not. I'm not trying to say anything. I'd like for the comments to decide that as well.
We'll see what everyone has to say.
So comment, give your opinions, give your list. Tell us if we're wrong. Tell us if we're right. Hopefully, to me specifically, say Sean, you're right. But thanks for sticking around. You gotta
get knocked off your peg, my guy.
Thanks for sticking around, and this was another great debate. And I hope you guys liked it.